of Aurora Cannabis, the Canadian cannabis giant, right now off by about 2.5%, giving back a bit of the gains that we saw yesterday as it popped nearly 30%, actually pretty much about 30% off the news that would be buying a U.S. CBD company, Reliva. That news making headlines out there as investors have long awaited the U.S. entry of Aurora into the CBD market. And of course, a lot of question marks around whether or not that deal will have an immediate impact on the cannabis company. Today, the stock was downgraded by Jefferies, saying that the stock move was not justifiable in the deal proving out to be that impactful. But who knows? I'll tell you who knows. People we're going to be chatting with right now. That would be the interim CEO of Aurora Cannabis, as well as the executive chairman, Michael Singer. Also, we're joined by the CEO of Reliva. Miguel Martin joins us right now. And guys, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us about this deal. Michael, I'll start with you because obviously there's a lot of different options here when you think about entering the U.S. CBD market. Of course, you guys landed on Reliva in the press release. You noted that it's number one in topicals and number two overall in terms of market share, according to IRI. When you look outside of those metrics measured by IRI, though, in the C-stores, which is obviously a big footprint here for Reliva, it might not necessarily be that big of a player. So why Reliva and why time it right now when there's still a lot of question marks in the CBD market?
Certainly. So thanks for having us, Zach. So I think you highlighted a couple of key things. I think, we feel very excited about this acquisition. We're picking up a phenomenal, company in Reliva and a great management team and, US-based CBD wellness company. You highlighted the retail locations, but also strong relationships that Miguel and the Reliva team have with leading wholesalers and distributors. And they have a global reach, which is obviously consistent with our global footprint. Taking a step back, thinking about what this does for Aurora shareholders, this is a responsible and strategic entry for us into the U.S. market and delivers on our key reset plan, the key aspects of our reset plan that we announced, that we updated the market on last week. So we're very excited about this. And we have immediate access to the world's largest cannabinoid market. And that's so important. And Reliva and Miguel have created a real, tremendous cannabinoid platform that we feel we want to leverage. The Reliva story is an asset-light model. It's accretive to Aurora today. It's profitable. We're bringing this EBITDA-generating asset with no debt to the Aurora story. And maybe most importantly, we have a mature and an experienced leadership team in Miguel and the Reliva group, and who've taken a compliance-based approach to their business. And we're so excited. That's a very similar philosophy to that of Aurora. And we're very excited to be, to have Miguel and the Reliva team as part of the Aurora family. So a very exciting day for Aurora and its shareholders.
Yeah, and Miguel, I mean, you hear all of that, and you're going to be staying on as president of Aurora USA and operating the combined company here. And when you look at it, I mean, obviously, you guys have stressed your convenience store footprint, I guess, but overall, it only makes up about 3.9% of the overall market, much more levered in the CBD space to e-commerce, which makes up 35%. 14% coming from CBD specialty retailers. So, I mean, what are the plans and the strategies to really drive the brand awareness out there, a much higher awareness for some of the competitors here in the U.S., for a Charlotte's Web or a Green Roads, when you ask them, what are the plans to expand out of convenience stores, and can that be done relatively easily in the short term?
Well, Zach, thank you for that question. As Michael mentioned, I've got 20 years in regulated product experience, and the history with regulated products has been that they typically end up in regulated stores, whether that be stores that sell tobacco or alcohol, which today C-stores are the preeminent. We also have distribution in supermarket, grocery, and drug. And with the heft of what Aurora brings to it, it's just a perfect partnership. Aurora is focused on compliance, deep science, as well as innovative products, allows Reliva to responsibly, in a real compliance-driven way, expand our footprint going forward. And so we had 4 states pass comprehensive legislation this year: Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Virginia. And so the expansion of CBD will be there. We're really proud of what we've done with convenience stores. It's a much less crowded space in brick and mortar than it is, say, in e-com. And I think as we see the new normal, as people go to find tobacco and alcohol in brick and mortar stores, they'll also find our products and Aurora products.
Yeah, Michael, let's talk about that competition that Miguel is mentioning there.
I'm going to stop it there because I have something to say. So he said that okay, first of all, there's a few things I want to bring up for this video. First, they mentioned that Reliva will be renamed Aurora USA. And then the CEO, the current CEO who will become the president of Aurora USA, will basically, he said that they will be selling both Aurora products and their own products. So that means that I think, in my opinion, Aurora is going to be coming up with a name brand to be selling to these grocery stores, retail chains that the company has set up. And when you go to the store to buy products, there's going to be 3 brands in the store. There's going to be Reliva, Aurora something, Aurora CBD, Aurora, I don't know what they're going to name it, but they could name it an Aurora product, and then it's going to be Aurora Sports. So there's going to be 3 brands, 3 different brands, Aurora Sports, Aurora, and Reliva in these stores, and more brand will, increase sales dramatically, like big time. So I think Aurora is positioned to really, really grow in the CBD market in the United States. They are going to be a leader in the United States when it comes to selling CBD. Again, my opinion, so I feel like I want to smash my head against something for selling my stock this morning. I should have waited for this interview that came out. After this interview, I'm way more bullish now on the company than what I thought. But that's me. So whatever. I'm gonna continue the video and then I'll talk a little bit more. So.
Because of course your Canadian competitor, you guys are compared to him often, Canopy Growth, had already expanded into the U.S. with First and Free, their CBD line. When you look at the space overall, I mean, how much growth are you actually attributing? You note how big the CBD market is in the U.S., expected to be $25 billion roughly by 2025. But obviously, it's a very competitive space. So, I mean, how much realistically are you expecting it to add to growth in reaching your guys' goal of adjusted EBITDA profitability by the first quarter of fiscal 2021?
Well, Zach, it's a good question. I think for us, the Reliva story is actually incremental to the Aurora, path to profitability, and that's important. We, as part of our reset plan, we announced a priority to sort of rationalize our business and drive the Aurora business in Canada and internationally ex-US to profitability and sustain profitability. Reliva business today is profitable, so it's incremental to that strategy for Aurora. And so most importantly, it's not going to distract the Aurora, the senior team at Aurora to deliver on its key objective of ensuring that we drive profitability into our business. And so we're very excited about that. You noted a crowded space. It is, I think the way Miguel just described the business, a compliance-based approach is a differentiating factor that was very, very important to us as we sort of looked at the landscape and identified which companies we thought were going to be complementary to the Aurora business. And we believe it's incredibly well positioned in the US, not just for the way we see the regs changing in the US, but to really take advantage of a global growth opportunity by virtue of those relationships I highlighted earlier, with the leading wholesalers and distributors in the US. We're very excited about the combination of these two companies today.
Yeah, you talk about the regulations changing as well. We got an update from Colorado Representative Ed Perlmutter, who is talking about a Safe Banking Act, which would obviously shift some of these businesses that are more marijuana focused as opposed to CBD focused to getting banking. Curious what your guys' timeline looks like then in terms of maybe loosening of those restrictions in the cannabis space. Miguel, I assume you being the U.S. focused person here at Aurora now would have more insight on that front, but how do you see the regulatory environment changing in the short term since the FDA has kind of dragged its feet when it comes to CBD?
So, Zach, I would position it this way. Today, THC-bearing products over 0.3 aren't available in the U.S. And so we're really focused on the cannabinoid, the non-THC products, and there's tremendous opportunity. As Michael has talked quite well about their Gen 2 products, which they feature THC, we'll be able to bring those to the U.S. So the expansion of the states and the ability to sell what we call the minor cannabinoids, non-THC bearing today is really the opportunity. And you mentioned 25 billion. And whether that number is 20 or 25, it's growing so quickly. So it's the largest profit pool in the world today, the U.S. Michael mentioned our trade partners. Many of them have businesses all around the world, so we can leverage that as well. But today, focusing on CBD and the other cannabinoids, non-THC bearing, we think there's plenty to focus on. At the time in which the other products are there, it'll be a wonderful synergy for both Aurora as well as the Reliva brands.
No, it's also interesting because the deal comes amid a global pandemic. There's a lot going on right now, but you guys got this done. Michael, as executive chair, you're also looking for a CEO to come in here as well. How has the CEO search been when you can't really do all that much in person, or if you can, you got a lot to worry about? What's the timeline on the CEO search? Any updates you can give on that front?
So I think as we think about our prepared remarks when we announced our earnings update last week, we said the process is going well. It's advancing quite nicely. We feel confident that we're going to be able to fill that role with a very qualified candidate. You're right. The COVID environment adds a level of challenge that nobody anticipated, but it's not slowing us down. We actually feel very optimistic about the process that we're running, and very confident that the candidates we have in the pipeline are going to be incredibly important for our business going forward. So it's not deterring us in any way.
All right, there you go. The update from the two gentlemen at the front of this deal in the cannabis space. Michael Singer, Aurora Cannabis Executive Chair, as well as Miguel Martin, Reliva CEO, now turned President of Aurora.
Hope I don't get demonetized for making this video. Just checking my audio. But the stock price is trading at 643, 645. The lower it goes, the more of an opportunity it becomes. That's how I see it. Disagree, agree, doesn't matter, but that's what I think. I think the lower it goes, the better of an opportunity it will become. Again, that's my opinion. We'll see what happens in the coming months, coming weeks, but I'm bullish. But the thing is, it can still drop, even if I'm bullish. It can still drop because if Canopy comes out with a horrible earnings report, it will drop the entire sector, and this, Aurora could go back to $9.99 USD. I'm not going to aim for that. I'm probably going to buy if it dips back down to like $14, $13 US. Canadian, that'd be around like $18, $19, maybe in the low 20, in like sub 20s. That's where I plan to make a position into Aurora again. But this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm going to do. I do still have a position, and I will show you guys over the weekend. This video is going to be released at 2 o'clock, and then I'll be making another video on my strategy for Aurora moving forward. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. Give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow. Subscribe for future updates, and have a great day. Bye.